I think with Virat, once he gets one, he'll just keep going, 100, 100, 100. We're all excited about Rishabh Pant. We know the way he's going to play. He would fit well into this England side, the way England play. He'd be the perfect wicket-keeper in this brand of cricket England are playing. And it's totally blown everything England have been doing for 4 years out of the water. And it's worked. We've got immediate success with it. The country is behind them. The test matches have been sellouts. I think if he reminds me of anybody's captaincy, it's probably Brendan McCullum. And that's actually a match made in heaven, really. To come in and captain straight away against this England side is a difficult call. Virat Kohli would have been the choice I would have probably made.
And it all starts in Birmingham, India versus England, and it's going to be the resumption of that 5-test match series. India currently lead 2-1, and we have a special man joining us in cricket.com, making his debut today. And funnily enough, it was 28 years ago that he made his test debut for England, believe it or not, against New Zealand in Manchester. I'm talking about the Yorkshire specialist from Yorkshire. I'm talking about a man who's known as a rhino, the dazzler, Darren Gough, is of course joining us right now. Darren, first and foremost, sorry to get you out of your golf simulator room and all of that fluff. How are we, first and foremost?
Well, I've just had a little bit of game of golf this morning. We've got a little bit of rain here in the UK, which will be nice. It'll just moisten that pitch up at Edgbaston for when England bowlers get to work on it against India. But other than that, I'm top of the world. Top of the world.
Top of the world indeed. Let's throw you a gentle loosener to start things off. Certainly not by the looks of your career in terms of gentle looseners being thrown off. But look, how do you kind of see your association with cricket.com, given the fact that it's 28 years later than your test debut?
Well, it's unbelievable, you know. I'm 52 next month, in a couple of months. And it's flown, it really has. I remember running in and bowling international cricket with a big smile on my face, loving every moment of it. And I miss it. I really, really do miss that every single day. My body doesn't allow me to still play cricket at any level, really. I've had numerous operations, but watching the standard of cricket, which we've seen on show now for the last 3 months in the UK, has been brilliant to watch. And it's really exciting. It's brought a real excitement to this next series, the big one, which is England versus India, obviously.
Yeah, it is. And speaking to a fellow Virgo here, you mentioned the birthday in 52. It's going to be coming soon. But look, what's coming sooner is this test match from Edgbaston. And we'll start with the host because their 3-0 win over New Zealand must have made you feel very chuffed as an English fan.
Yeah, it's called baz-ball. Everybody's been enjoying it. It's been a strange, actually, couple of months because Chris Silverwood is a good friend of mine. Joe Root, obviously I'm the director of cricket at Yorkshire and he's one of our main players. And I remember being a consultant on the tour to New Zealand 4 years ago with England. And they talked about the brand of cricket they wanted to play. The brand of cricket was kind of going back to its roots of trying to gate runs in the first innings, a strong base to build on and give the bowlers a chance to bowl the opposition out twice. Now, that's just been blown out of the water with Rob Key coming in as director of cricket, Brendan McCullum coming in as head coach. We all know the brand of cricket he likes to play. And Ben Stokes, someone else who likes to play that exciting brand of cricket. And it's totally blown everything England have been doing for 4 years out of the water. And it's worked. We've got immediate success with it. The country is behind them. The test matches have been sellouts. Day 5, the county clubs have been given free entrance to all the fans to go and experience England chase 3 totals of 250 plus. What more do you want? And it's a great, great start to the summer with India coming next. And can we catch India now off guard? Because India have had one warm-up game against the Leicestershire kind of mixed 11, and they're coming up against an England side that are full of confidence.
Right, so how much confidence then will Ben Stokes' England take into this rearranged test against India? Is it going to be just what they did against New Zealand, where they kind of play it accordingly to the situation?
I think they'll try and play the same cricket no matter what, and there's going to be some great days as an England fan, and there'll be some terrible days. We only have to look at the situation the other day when, where were we, 20 for 5 or 20 for 6? Everybody thought, oh dear, we can't keep playing like this. And then suddenly we were flying away, Bairstow smacking the ball to all parts. And there we go. So we're going to get times and sessions where we get blown away if we're going to play that positive brand of cricket. But it's the way they want to go. They want to bring the crowds back. Test cricket, we can't get away from the fact that crowds have been getting lower and lower, especially outside of the UK. I mean, in England, our test matches tend to be sellouts anyway. We always, especially the first 2 days, whether it's Lords at the Oval, Edgbaston, Headingley, Old Trafford, they always turn out and support. But around the world, when you watch a test match, sometimes there's hardly anybody in the ground. I think the World Test Championship brought a little bit of buzz back. I really enjoyed that last year. And New Zealand winning that, actually beating India, which was a surprise, because India probably had the strongest team, if we're going to be honest about it. And then this year with England, really, let's be honest, they're out of it. They can't. New Zealand are out of it now. India have still got a lot to play for, with Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Australia and South Africa all in with a shout.
Yeah, it's tantalizing, that World Test Championship, and how it really peters out. But I want to just focus on an individual here in terms of Ben Stokes. Remember the last time he didn't take part in this series. He comes back as a rejuvenated man, the captain. And how would you rate him so far? I know it's a small sample size of 3 tests. I mean, if you count that one against West Indies when he filled in for Stokes. But generally, what impression does he give you as captain, Gough? And does he resemble anyone from the past?
Well, I've been thinking about this one, you know. Does he resemble anyone? I don't think he does. I think he comes into it and plays, wants to be exciting, wants England to play. I mean, now I thought about it, actually, just on the top. Who does he remind me of? Probably Brendan McCullum. And that's why it probably is, this partnership has worked. They both have similar ideas. Ben, remember, was born in New Zealand and came over to the UK with his father, who was a rugby coach. So he kind of has that New Zealand mentality, but he's also got that steel as well of the Northeast, growing up in Durham. So I think if he reminds me of anybody's captaincy, it's probably Brendan McCullum. And that's actually a match made in heaven, really. And the way Ben plays a brand of cricket with a bat in hand that's always be to go out there and entertain. But sometimes he does play the situation really well. He comes in and realises, but he needs to bat 100 balls, and when he's getting 100 balls, he goes for it. But we've noticed since he's been captain, he's trying to lead from the front and play that really aggressive brand when he comes in, no matter what the situation of the game is. In coaching terms, we call it changing the momentum, and he does that. And then my biggest worry about him being captain was his workload, and would he underbowl himself as a bowler? Because people don't realise how skillful Ben Stokes is actually as a bowler. He's got unbelievable skills. He's been used by England in the past as that enforcer, the guy who runs in and bowls bounces and bowls spells of short pitch bowling. He's better than that. He has got so many skills with a ball in hand. He goes that wide of the crease, he leans out a little bit, it looks like he's going in, he gets that natural shape away, and he can take a lot of wickets. And I just hope he doesn't underbowl himself in the test matches the rest of the summer.
Okay. Now, it's food for thought in terms of who starts favourites going into this rearranged test. Is it England, like you've been praising upon, or is it India because they had that 2-1 lead from the last time around? How do you see it, Gough?
Well, India should be favourites, but I think what's gone against India is they had Ashwin coming into the country late because of COVID. They've got Rohit Sharma, the skipper, who's got a great record in the UK and England, got COVID and he's going to miss out. Virat Kohli coming on the back and not having a century since 2019. But still, I look at the Indian side and I think I wouldn't mind being coach of that team. It's a pretty special lineup. The bowling, you've probably got 7 or 8 and even 9 bowlers now. You're watching in the IPL. You could come and do a great job in this Indian side. You've got a bowling attack who can bowl well in all conditions, not just home conditions. You've got spinners, you've got seamers, you've got all-rounders. So, exciting. But the only thing that goes against them is that warm-up game at Leicestershire. Is it enough? to come in and play against an England side who are playing with freedom, are playing with enjoyment, playing with belief they're going to win every game. It's going to be exciting. I'm really excited to watch this test match.
Yeah, we all are back home as well. Now, we'll touch upon India in greater depth just in a bit, but just to ask you about England's 11 because they've announced it. Anderson, of course, coming in for Overton, who played brilliantly with the bat and, of course, had a couple of things to say with the ball as well. And then that inevitable change with Ben Foakes going up with Sam Billings coming in. Do you think that's England's best 11 right now to take on India?
Well, yeah, without Foakes in there, obviously Billings comes into the side. They've gone for that wicketkeeper who's pretty solid with a bat. He's not a world beater, but he plays that aggressive mould of cricket that McCullum wants to play, and he wants to give Bairstow the freedom to play as a number 5 and not have to keep wicket. There was much talk at the start of this year. A lot of people were going down the route, but Bairstow's the one under pressure. Harry Brook, fantastic player again, another Yorkshireman, was the one who was breathing down his neck. But I always thought if they were going to do anything, I thought Harry Brook would come in and they'd play Bairstow and bat at 7 and keep wicket. But they're stuck with Foakes, who there's no doubt about it is the best wicketkeeper. But he also is underrated with a bat. But now he's not available. Billings comes in, and Billings will do a good job. I think he's a fighter. He plays with a smile on his face. He plays aggressive, and that's about the best. Well, that is the best England team we can put out there at this moment in time. They brought life back into Anderson, who's nearly 40, and Broad. It'll be interesting to see how far those two do go together, and what Anderson decides to do at the end of the summer. I think you'll see how his body is after this Indian Test match and the South Africa series. But it's definitely, for a one-off game against arguably the best team in the world, it's a good matchup to go Anderson and Broad and Potts.
So let's see how it, of course, trickles across in Edgbaston. But let's come to India right now and discuss them, because if Rohit Sharma is, of course, unavailable, do you back the decision of Jasprit Bumrah being captain, or do you think that they could have perhaps given Virat just this test because he, of course, took the lead 2-1 earlier? How do you see that kind of unravel?
Yeah, I think it's a big call to go with Bumrah. I really do. I think people know my thoughts on him as a cricketer. I talk about it a lot. Bumrah, for me, is one of the hardest, if not the hardest bowler to face in world cricket at this moment in time. Deceptively quick, great Yorker, awkward to face, quicker than you think. To come in and captain straight away against this England side is a difficult call. Virat Kohli would have been the choice I would have probably made, purely because of his expertise, what he brought to Indian cricket as a captain, that professionalism, that leading from the front, getting everybody to train harder, work harder. This is the reason India have got to the position they are in world cricket over this last 5 years, and with some unbelievable test victories, most notably the one in Australia. But listen, they look as though they want to move on from Kohli as a skipper. Rohit Sharma's not young anymore. What is he, 35? Bumrah is going to be a definite in that side for many years, as long as he's fit. So it's a great opportunity for him. And as long as he's thinking, he's on the same page as Rohit Sharma and his captaincy, I think it could work. But I think for a one-off game, I might have gone for Kohli. But it's not my decision.
Yeah, I mean, there are other men making that decision, and everyone's kind of watching their movements closely. Now, I want to ask you about India's 11, right? Who would you kind of pick? What's the combination? Because they're playing their cards more close to their chest. But if you were Rahul Dravid right now, please name me your 11, Goughy.
Well, the most difficult one they've got is with Rohit Sharma, because I think he'll miss out. I can't see him playing in the Test match. And I don't think they've got another natural opener. I think they brought Agarwal over in as cover. I still don't think he'll play. I think they'll go Shubman Gill. I like him. I really like him, actually. The last series against England, exciting, gets good starts, really strong through the point region. Pujara, we know well, absolutely top player. Started well this year as well, played county cricket, knows conditions really, really well. He's gutsy, ball swinging around there's no one you'd like him in your side. I think he might actually have to open. I could see that. Rahul's out, another nightmare situation for India because what a player he is as well. Vihari will probably come in. Kohli will be 4. Shreyas Iyer, I think he'll be coming in at 5. And then it's Pant, isn't it? We're all excited about Rishabh Pant. We know the way he's going to play. He would fit well into this England side, the way England play. He'd be the perfect wicket-keeper in this brand of cricket England are playing. And then Jadeja, you have to go with Jadeja. What he offers in the field with bat and ball, and his record speaks for itself. Absolutely amazing performer. Then you got, they're probably going to go with the all-rounder. Was it Shardul Thakur? Swings the ball. Again, he can bowl a heavy ball. One-day cricket is probably the one where he really stands out, but he can do a really, really good job as that extra seamer for India in English conditions. Then it's going to be Shami. Unbelievable skills. Again, he's another one. I think he's slightly quicker than most people think. Controls the ball really well, swings it in and out at will. He's kind of the Jimmy Anderson like for like. He does that really, really well. And then it'll be Avri Bumrah. And then you've got to make a decision. Do they go with that second spinner with Ashwin to go with Jadeja? Or do they go with Hamid Siraj? Again, wiry, quick, can swing the ball. So there's their option. The only one I can't pick the 11th one. So it depends where India go and what the weather's like. I believe the Edgbaston pitch will be flat. I think it'll be a very good pitch. The way England want to play, I think it'll be favour batting. You win the toss, you want to bat. There might be a little bit in the pitch that first hour and a half. But Edgbaston, if you've got the weather right, it can be really, really hard work for the bowlers, especially the seamers. But if it overhead conditions, and this is England, this is not going to be a green pitch. Overhead conditions, you look up, and that's when it makes a difference. Headingley, Edgbaston, Lords. 1 minute the flat, overhead conditions come, start swinging and seaming. And that's English conditions for you.
And that's what makes it more fascinating, right? These subplots with the conditions above the head and, of course, the pitch, like you mentioned there. So let's see how it really unfolds in due course. Now, I want to ask you about Virat Kohli quickly because, look, we saw him in that warm-up game at Grace Road, a 67 and a 33 respectively. When can he break this 100 jinx? Because that's the question that all of India is asking. Please answer it for us, Darren.
Well, again, I'm a fan of Virat Kohli. At Yorkshire, we've got a partnership with Kanesh and Anushka, his wife and his brother-in-law, and Clean Slate. They sponsor Yorkshire. So we have a closeness now and a bond with Virat Kohli and Anushka. So I really am a fan of him. I think I can remember first seeing him play in England, and I thought, wow. I thought Tendulkar was good. He was brilliant, in fact, a genius. And Virat Kohli was right up there with him. Amazing player, such style, aggression, everything I love to see in a cricketer. Can take on the short ball, good against spin. He's got that arrogance to put the cap on as well, now and again. And I want him to get back to scoring hundreds. We see Joe Root used to go through that spell of getting a lots of 70s and 80s and even 90s. But I think with Virat, once he gets one, he'll just keep going 100, 100, 100. And that's what Joe Root's done. And I think Virat Kohli's going through that spell at the moment. He just needs to get that first one, and then he's going to go and cash in for the next 3 or 4 years.
Okay, it's music to many people's ears watching this right now, but we appreciate your time, Darren Gough, in this first test match preview. I say first test, it's a rearranged test between England and India, and let's see who, of course, wins this one.